Do you make the same commitment that you will absolutely, sir, that you will absolutely accept the result of this election?
I will look at it at the time.
The most breathtaking moment of Wednesday's third and final debate came when Donald Trump refused to say whether he would accept the results of next month's elections.
She shouldn't be allowed to run.
Both candidates appeared eager to begin their final face-off in a civil way, responding calmly to questions about the Supreme Court, abortion, and the Second Amendment.
He said women should be punished, that there should be some form of punishment for women who obtain abortions, and I could just not be more opposed to that kind of thinking.
If you go with what Hillary is saying, in the 9th month, you can take the baby and rip the baby out of the womb of the mother just prior to the birth of the baby.
They disagreed on all of those subjects and on immigration.
We have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
But did so without the vitriol that has characterized so much of this year's brutish, nasty campaign.
He said as recently as a few weeks ago in Phoenix that every undocumented person would be subject to deportation. I think that is an idea that is not in keeping with who we are as a nation.
It was Russian President Vladimir Putin who finally brought out the personal attacks from both candidates.
Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't admit that the
puppet.
Russians have engaged in cyber attacks against the United States of America.
And when Chris Wallace raised the accusations of groping against Mr. Trump,
9 women have come forward.
Accusations that the Republican candidate vigorously denied.
Those people, I don't know those people.
Mrs. Clinton was ready to pounce with a vengeance.
He immediately goes to denying responsibility. And it's not just about women.
When it came to foreign policy, Mr. Trump repeated his claims that Mrs. Clinton is responsible for ISIS, while the Democratic nominee methodically described her plans for defeating the terror group.
I want to have an intelligence surge that protects us here at home, why we have to go after them from the air, on the ground, online.
But the headline moment of the debate came in the middle of all of that, when Mr. Trump hinted that he might refuse to accept a loss to Mrs. Clinton if it happens.
Are you saying you're not prepared now to commit
What
to
I'm
that
saying
principle?
is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
Her expression of outrage on behalf of the nation's democracy may have been her strongest moment of any of the debates.
Now, that is not the way our democracy works. We've been around for 240 years. We've had free and fair elections. We've accepted the outcomes when we may not have liked them. And that is what must be expected of anyone standing on a debate stage during a general election. He is denigrating, he's talking down our democracy. And I, for one, am appalled that somebody who is the nominee of one of our 2 major parties would take that kind of position.